Since 2013, DRIF has served as a beacon for global dialogue on digital rights and inclusion. As a flagship platform of Paradigm Initiative, DRIF brings together diverse stakeholders to shape digital policy in Africa and beyond.
I want to very quickly take us through the journey, how we got here and where we are going from here. 11 years ago, in 2013, the Nigerian government and many other governments were doing something that we in civil society considered quite concerning: investment in surveillance technologies without enabling laws, without any guardians. And so in 2013, August, a few of us gathered in Abuja, Nigeria, and we were just concerned about what is going on in this country. What can we do about it? Later in the year, in December, we met again in Lagos. And after that, in 2014, we decided that it was time to ask a few of our friends in other countries, are you seeing the same things that we're seeing? And we realized that there were similar things. In 2014, we had started talking about what we call the Internet Freedom Declaration for Nigeria. And the idea was for the few of us who were in the room to have this conversation and to then take action. Immediately we left the place. And that's the reason why when you hear the introduction of DRIF, what you will hear is that it is a platform for action. We will have conversations about fostering digital rights. We'll have conversations about our various sub-themes. But the core issue that we believe will be the outcome is the action we can take. Because right in this room, there are actors, there are people who have been working on some of the concerns that you have. In fact, chances are that the person to your left or the person to your right actually are as concerned about some of the issues that you think you're most concerned about. And that is why the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum happens. In 2016, we decided it was time to open the door to other countries to participate because the issues were similar. And thankfully, the conversation went in that direction. We got updates from the Gambia, and if any of you know what was happening in the Gambia in 2016, you will understand that we saw that issues around internet shutdowns. This was in 2016. Ghana, Senegal, Cameroon, all the different countries, Kenya. And by 2017, it was still called at the time, not the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum, it was called the Internet Freedom Forum. 2018 was the year we decided that, well, since the issues are not just from Nigeria and in Nigeria and just a few of the countries that were in the room, we will expand the conversation a bit to include not just digital rights, but also digital inclusion. And so the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum started in 2019, DRIF 2019. And we then decided that it was time to have one more meeting in Nigeria and then begin to move DRIF to other countries. And then we planned DRIF 2020. It was supposed to hold April 23, 2020. And many of you remember what happened in 2020. In March, the lockdown was initiated. So we first announced that DRIF 2020 was postponed because we believed it was going to be maybe, hopefully short-lived, but it wasn't short at all. And by 2020, when we tried to host and COVID said no, we decided in 2021 to take a different approach. And in 2021, we decided that we wouldn't wait just for everything to become perfect. So we decided to move this into the virtual environment, and we had a hybrid forum because we couldn't organize a meeting like this. We could only have, I think, up to 20 people in the room at the time. So in 12 African countries, we had different conversations. And in 2022, we expanded that a bit to 17 African countries. In 2023, many of you were with us in Nairobi when we hosted DRIF 23. What we've decided to do, and we said this in Nairobi, is that this is no longer a conversation amongst us as Africans. This is a conversation amongst various stakeholders in the global majority world, in the global south. And so, in the spirit of what the future will look like, I asked an AI tool what DRIF 2063 will look like. And it gave me a picture that I am not sharing with you. And then I said to it, DRIF 63 for the Global South. And then the picture became a bit more relatable. There is a message in that. All of the conversations we're having at DRIF are global conversations, but the onus rests on us as active participants in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, to make sure that global conversations are not just global because people in the room are from different countries, but they are global because they are relevant to the issues we experience. They're global because we understand what we want and the conversations we need to have, the partnerships we need to form, and of course, at the end of the day, to make sure that action is focused on our needs. Human rights in the digital age, digital inclusion. And with that, here we are in 2024. I have a simple question. Where will DRIF 2025 hold?